Besides the methods mentioned above that use a reference point, there is also the method of recognizing the nature of the mind directly or nakedly. All of these methods are means for developing supreme wisdom. There are many methods to cultivate this wisdom, taught in accordance with an individual's capacity and disposition. There are many requirements, the student's spiritual faculty, ability, and inclinations. Some methods are suitable for those with strong devotion. Some are suitable for those with sharp understanding, and so on. Hence, one doesn't practice every method of samatha and vipassana that is described, but the one that accords with one's capacity and nature. This book presents many methods of samatha. Some are suitable for those with strong devotion and faith, while others are suitable for those with sharp insight. The meditation methods suited to these two types of people differ, and we should choose and practice the methods according to our spiritual faculties and abilities. Those with strong faith can recite Amitabha's name, while some are unwilling or don't like to do so. Some are suited to practicing guru devotion, while others cannot, believing they can rely solely on themselves without external support. They feel no need to form spiritual connections with others and strive for Buddhahood on their own. Such people do exist. They prefer to rely on themselves and don't like depending on others. They are unwilling to rely on the Buddha, feeling that doing so diminishes their dignity. Everyone is different. In the Buddha's teachings, reliance on oneself and reliance on others are equally important. Those who know how to practice properly follow the middle way, which is the best. Relying entirely on the power of others is foolish because it is impossible. Relying solely on one's own effort is also silly. We must rely on both ourselves and others, as these two factors are equally important. In this way, we can progress swiftly. We should follow the middle way. What all samatha practices develop is mental stability. With this stability, one can cultivate vipassana. When the mind is stable and resting in its natural state, one can use sharp understanding to analyze phenomena or comprehend the meaning of texts. Thus, with mental stability, one can examine and understand whatever the mind focuses on, so that samatha practice becomes vipassana practice. This is analytical meditation. At times, one practices only analytical meditation, and at other times only non-analytic meditation. Sometimes one practices them alternately. If done correctly, either method can lead to the development of samatha and vipassana. In terms of the goal, they are the same. In terms of the path, however, they differ. Vipassana is the practice of wisdom. First, comprehend the teachings through listening. Then meditate on that understanding and use correct mental modes to counteract incorrect ones. Sentient beings regard all phenomena as truly existent. Through correct mental engagement, we come to realize that all phenomena are empty, without inherent nature. Gradually, the clinging to phenomena diminishes. Initially, use the principle of the non-duality of form and emptiness to counteract afflictions. Ultimately, it is possible to realize this non-duality fully, and the mind truly becomes empty. while we may intellectually understand that the aggregate of form is empty and that walls, mountains, rivers, and the earth are illusory, we are still unable to treat them like rainbows or mirages. After enlightenment, one can. As you know, some great masters can leave footprints in rock or even fly. After realizing the non-duality of form and emptiness, one can accomplish such feats in meditation. They may not be able to do so in daily life, but in meditation they can sometimes press a handprint into rock. In Tibet, cases of great masters leaving footprints in rock are often seen. They can do this while in meditative absorption, a phenomenon that even scientists cannot explain. Pressing a handprint into rock is not easy. It requires deep concentration. Yet it is achievable. Cultivating such an ability would be nice. Which of you aspires to develop it? Before passing away, you could leave several handprints on this wall. Wouldn't it be nice to have this ability? It is far more interesting than worldly entertainment, which is nothing more than playing cards or mahjong. Even non-Buddhists and those who haven't eradicated self-grasping can possess supernatural powers, because such abilities can arise through samatha practice. Let's set worldly pursuits aside. If you wish to learn the Dharma, you can practice samatha. Of course, you need to have some wisdom. Developing some supernatural powers through samatha is also nice, much more fun than worldly activities. However, if not handled properly, it can invite demons. Thus, wisdom is essential. Without wisdom, cultivating psychic powers can lead to demonic attachment. Many Qigong practitioners become harassed by demons. As they practice, supernatural powers arise, and they enjoy displaying them to disciples. After showing off, disciples admire them, and soon after they are possessed by demons. After that, they feel even more extraordinary, proclaiming themselves spiritual leaders and establishing their own sects. This becomes troublesome. They think they can compete with the Buddha, believing Shakyamuni Buddha is inferior to them. Such behavior can occur after being possessed by demons. Therefore, it is not easy to practice Qigong, as it can lead to demonic attachment. However, with wisdom, cultivating some supernatural powers through meditation is beneficial, as it allows one to apply skillful means to guide sentient beings. Worldly activities are quite meaningless, eating the same food every day only to excrete it later. How boring. Dharma practice is meaningful. With offerings from the 10 directions, why not seize the time to practice? Later, you may not have this opportunity. Look at people in the past. They had no time to practice. During the Cultural Revolution, many were forced to return to secular life. Some were sentenced. Some were sent back to do farming. There was no way to practice the Dharma. Now, we have a great opportunity to practice. In the human realm, the chance to engage in Dharma practice is not always available. Yet, you are still wasting your time. Today, someone says again, I'm going home for the new year to accompany my mum. This reflects the secular mindset. Spiritual practice is interesting. By eliminating all afflictions through practice, you become free and at ease. Cultivate until you are like the spring breeze. Wherever it blows, grass grows. Wherever you go, you bring joy to others. First, eliminate hostile tendencies and uproot anger. Then, wherever you go, beings feel as if bathed in a spring breeze. Even if you just sit there silently, they feel comfortable and joyful. Practicing meditative absorption is easy, but I don't have time for it now. In the past, I used to do it during solitary practice. Later, during the retreat, I had no time. Seeing beings suffer, I wrote articles, even in the retreat room. I could not settle. While writing moral reconstruction at that time, I thought, I must write this article. It's important. So, I couldn't sit still to meditate. I had no time for it. During the first 4 years after my ordination, I practiced meditation diligently, just those few years. Later, seeing too many improper phenomena, I felt that the Dharma barely had successors. I became a monk at ENG DUB mountain, where I received ordination and full precepts. Seeing those phenomena, I was speechless. In this degenerate age, practitioners were so pitiable, wasting time without a qualified teacher. They were diligent and endured hardships, but they clung excessively to minor details. They lacked wisdom, yet had intense anger. In other words, they lacked practice. Though ordained, they did not have a spiritual guide. During spiritual practice, you just need to grasp one method or pith instruction and avoid greed. When the teacher teaches you a method, cultivate it diligently until you resonate with it. Do not practice superficially as if performing in a play. Dharma practice is not singing or acting. It is not a show. When you do it to be seen by others, no matter how well, it is pointless. After grasping a simple method, such as this breathing practice, go and apply it. Since I teach you to meditate on non-self every day, you should practice it earnestly. Don't be unwilling, thinking this is too simple. Please teach me advanced or esoteric practices that can make me enlightened in a month, 3 months, or at most 3 years. Reflecting on selflessness, impurity, and multiplicity every day is too boring. Upon receiving a little criticism, your self-grasping flares up. Your self-grasping and afflictions are deeply ingrained. After hearing a teaching, you should meditate on it earnestly. Don't spend your time aimlessly after class. First, devote yourself to Dharma practice and make some progress. Especially for those who are newly ordained or preparing to ordain, focus wholeheartedly on Dharma practice without concern for worldly matters. When I haven't assigned you tasks, you should practice even more diligently. When I am about to assign you monastery service, if you want to practice, it is too late. When I urge you to practice, you want to work. When I ask you to work, you say, I want to practice. Without spiritual cultivation, you cannot handle monastery service well. If your mind is filled with ego, jealousy, and anger in daily life, and anger arises easily in response to situations, you should not engage in monastery service. If anger frequently arises during work, you should refrain from tasks and instead meditate earnestly on loving kindness and selflessness. To handle monastery service, you must basically reach a point where no one can disturb your mind. No matter what others do, it does not provoke anger in you. While a thought may arise, you can immediately transform it without expressing it in action or speech. If anger has already reached your mouth or hands, it is too late. If you can transform thoughts and afflictions as soon as they begin to stir, you can take on some monastery service. You can work while transforming thoughts and practicing the dharma. Some people's spiritual cultivation is poor. When an affliction arises for a long time, they remain unaware and cannot transform it. Some are even worse. When an affliction persists for several days, they still don't repent. Such individuals have too poor spiritual faculties and must repent earnestly. Some are even more terrible. They hold wrong views without realizing it. Moreover, they refuse to learn from qualified teachers, convinced that they are right. They haven't even entered the path, needless to say. Such opinionated people are the most pitiable. They are incurable. Only wrathful deities can save them. Why are wrathful deities becoming increasingly powerful in this degenerate age? Because people, including Buddhists, become more and more self-righteous, making it difficult to change their views.